Okay, so this is the timeline. Fine. I already marked up the things, the important ones. Okay. So you have the use of early Aryan. The Aryan age or the use of iron, it is happening around 1500 to 1000 BC. Fine, these are all you should remember this much at least. Okay, the great 16 Mahajanpadas and their capitals. Okay. Then you have urbanization in the Ganga Valley, punch-marked coins. Okay, paddy transplantation is happening in around this period 600 to 500 BC. Okay. Then this Buddhist age of the Pitaka's, all these things, Therigatha, monks, everything is, I try to incorporate as much things possible in a single timeline, which somewhere look like this. Okay, you won't be able to see anything here, but it is so compact. But I try to put everything here. Okay, like this is also a crucial thing. This was the period when you were getting your Natya Shastra, Bharat Muni. Okay, you are getting your Sangam literature in this period approximately. The Charak and Sushruta Sahintas, you are getting questions, a lot of questions, just on the basis of, if I mark this much area, you are getting around 10 questions, easily solved. Just see this space. Okay, Sanskrit plays including the works of Kalidas and all these things. Okay. Haryang dynasty, Shishunag dynasty, then we are moving ahead, Nanda dynasty. Okay. Then meanwhile, foreign invasions. Alexander attacked India in this is not 336, I will correct it, it is 326, but it's fine, it's just a matter of 10 years. But this is one of the most, okay, let it be, I won't discuss a lot of things because this is only the history essential series. Okay, only on the basis of PYQs, otherwise I will just go on and on with a lot of things, with a lot of trivias and everything, but this is not the time and this is not the appropriate place. We will have a lot of different sessions after the exam and in the upcoming days. Okay, so this was also your question, Vitasta. I hope you remember, it's the name of river Byas. Oh no, sorry, that's not the Byas, this is your Jhelum. Okay, Byas was the river where Alexander stopped from moving forward. And what was the Greek name of Byas river? This was also your question. If you remember, Hyphasis, I was pronouncing it not correctly. Okay, so that thing. So Maurya dynasty, two important rulers, Chandragupta Maurya, Ashoka, evergreen favorite, no need to say anything else about him, we have already covered him a lot. Brihadratha, he was the last ruler assassinated by Pushyamitra Shunga. He was the founder of Shunga dynasty, ruling somewhere around 180s 70 BC. Last ruler was Shunga dynasty was Devabhuti. He was succeeded by Vasudeva in the form of a new Kanva dynasty, and this Kanva dynasty in total replaced by the Satavahanas, who were also known as Andhras. Okay, Satavahanas also known as Andhras. The ruling period approximately were 100 BC to 300 AD. Okay. Gautamiputra Satkarni, also one of the most prominent ruler of Satavahana dynasty. Okay, then what is another thing important? Yes, Kushana dynasty, the most celebrated ruler of history, Kanishka. He was part of Kushana dynasty, ruling somewhere between 78 to 100 AD. I'm sorry. This and the Kushana dynasty is running from 1582 to 30 AD approximately. Then you have the Vakatakas. Vindhya Shakti is one of the prominent ruler of Vakatakas. Okay, remember these two lines. Of course, this is in your notes. I am inferring a question on the basis of Vatsugulma line and the Kardamaka line. These two are associated with your Vakatakas. Okay, you can get a question like this also. Then you have Samudragupta in the Gupta dynasty. We have seen a lot of question about him. Okay, I mentioned some epithets of the kings here, just in the timeline also. Samudragupta, one of the famous epithet of Samudragupta is Lichavi Dohatra. Okay, so you can get a question like who is associated with this epithet, Lichavi Dohitra. So it's your Samudragupta. Okay, then so many other dynasties I try to incorporate as much as possible. Then this is your Mokri dynasty of Kannauj. Then Vardhan dynasty, most celebrated king Harshvardhana. Huinzhang coming during the reign of Harshvardhana in search of the Buddhist text, everything. Okay, now meanwhile, if you will see, let me show you how you will see this timeline. Okay, so these are the parallel lines. Okay, what was happening, okay, in another part of India. This was, suppose this is your, okay, this everything you are seeing here, this is majority is your northern India part. What was happening on the northwestern side, or with the Greek dynasties, or in the south, or on the western India, okay, or on the eastern India, okay. So these are kind of thing. What was happening in Kashmir at the same time, when this is the parallel lines, okay. This is the thing, fine, somewhere around, okay, from this time, at the same time what was happening in South India. So we will see the South India now. These were the prominent dynasties evolving in the south. Chera dynasty, Kadamba dynasty, you have Western Ganga dynasty, okay. You have Chalukyas of Badami, known as the Western Chalukyas. Most celebrated king is Pulakeshin II, stopped Harshvardhan Narmada. We have seen a question on this. Then Pallava dynasty ruling between 550 to 980 AD approximately. Mahendra Varma I, most celebrated king. Narsimhavarman I, who erected the Mamalapuram Ratha temples. We will see all these things, all the art, architecture, everything. Caves. You must be surprising we have not solved a single question on Sachi and Ajanta, but we are going to see all them together in our art and culture series. Everything is so much arranged, so do not worry at all whether we are leaving something or not. We are in a good shape, and we will cover each and every previous year question. Do not worry at all, just keep on revising the things in this manner. Then we have Pandya dynasty. There's a king in the Pandya dynasty, Rajsimha I, known as Pallava Bhanjana, breaker of the Pallavas, okay. So these are the things. A lot of things are mentioned, you can't remember everything, but I'm just citing out the most prominent things which you must remember at any cost. Rashtrakutas, a famous dynasty, Dantidurg, the founder, okay. Krishna I, Kailashnath temple, Ellora, erected by him. Krishna III, also one of the most prominent ruler. Then Chola dynasty, most celebrated. Parantaka I, one of its ruler. Rajendra I, he conquered the Ceylon, the Sri Lanka, and built the Gangai-Konda Cholpuram. Kulottunga I, if you remember, I discussed this thing, it is mentioned in the box that Kulottunga I, also known with one epithet, Sungam Tavitra, abolisher of the tolls, where when we were discussing those, term wala question, the taxes on textiles, and it stood for on cotton, on silk, okay, if you remember. So there Kulottunga I was also mentioned. Then you have Chalukyas of Kalyani. So these were the kings of that dynasty. Then Hoysalas, important, you got a question in 2023 prelims. Hoysala dynasty, Kakatiya dynasty, okay. Yadavas, you had a question in 2023, okay. The prominent rulers of Hoysala dynasty. Why Hoysala dynasty is important, Kakatiyas are important? There is a question on Raya Gajakesari, okay. Rudrama Devi, yes, this question also is there, okay. Rudrama Devi, known as Raya Gajakesari, okay. She was ruling somewhere around 1250s AD, okay. Then Hoysala dynasty is important because of the enlistment of the Hoysala temple and symbols in the UNESCO World Heritage List. We will cover all the UNESCO World Heritage sites in our art and culture segment also. Okay, so these are the prominent rulers of Hoysala dynasty. You should remember at least these two. Ballala III, the last king. I'm not sure, pretty sure that whether only these are the last king or not. Wherever I am confirmed, I mentioned the last king. Wherever I am not, these are just most famous and the most prominent king we found mentioned in our textbook or in the general history books, okay. Otherwise, every dynasty has been ruled by many kings. Okay, some had a very short regnal years. So of course you won't find mention of that name in the list of chronology or those things, but of course those were also the persons. So I am not claiming that I have included each and every king of each and every dynasty. No, not at all. It's not quite possible to summarize each and everything only in this much space. This is all what is quite relevant and may help you to just streamline with your chapters whenever you read them. So these are just prominent kings, okay, like Vishnuvardhana. So just remember Vishnuvardhana and Ballalathri, and Vishnuvardhana especially, okay, as the kings ruling under Hoysala dynasty. And this dynasty was ruling between 1050 to 1355 AD approximately. Fine. So okay, what was happening in the west, where we have the Chandelas, Rajputs, Gurjar Pratihara? Let's see central western India. So you have Chahmans of Shakambhari, okay, very prominent kings like Prithviraj III, Tarain battles, Chandabardai, a work written by the work is Prithviraj Raso, written by the Chandrabardai. Okay, you can get this question as part of your early medieval Indian history also, because these are the transitioning years. Then this dynasty gave you a lot of questions, Gurjar Pratihara dynasty. UPSC is diving deep on 2-3 dynasties, Chandelas and Gurjar Pratihara. So you have Nagbhatta I, Nagbhatta II and Bhoja II, the prominent kings of this dynasty, ruling between 730 to 1090 AD. Okay, then you have your Chandela dynasty around 830 to 1300 AD. You have Nanuka, the founder, Jayashakti and Yashovarman. Dhangdev is also most celebrated king of Chandela dynasty. There are many likewise, okay. But try to remember these much at least. Okay, and broadly the dynasties and their rules. Ruling years. So these are Chaulukya, Solanki dynasty, as I was emphasizing in the last video also, that don't get confused between the Chalukya, Chalukya of Badami and Vengi, and Chaulukyas. There is you, that's your Solankis, okay, in Gujarat. Okay, so this was another dynasty. Then you have Parmara dynasty ruling somewhere around 945 to 1305 AD. Okay, many kings. Garhwal dynasty, okay, around 1100 to 1200 AD, let it be. So this was the thing. Okay, what was happening in Odisha side, okay, in the eastern India, the Bengal and Odisha, you have the Varman dynasty, okay, you have Eastern Ganga dynasty, you have other very least prominent but mentioned in your Upinder Singh also in the chapters, like Shalodbhava dynasty. Okay, I just remember you will see that question in art and culture, that Chauset Yogini temple. In one statement you must remember that there was a mention of very one offbeat dynasty, Kachchachap Ghat dynasty. Okay, so this is the case. There may be n number of dynasties ruled India, okay, like the small parties these days. Okay, they just appear without getting registered with the Election Commission of India. They are fighting elections, and without even winning a seat, they are just wiping away out from the memory and from the space of election panorama. So this is the thing with the history too. In that era also, it's possible that very minute dynasties were ruling somewhere in a very small pocket of India somewhere. Okay, but that's not possible to include each and every dynasty in that way. Anyway, the Salamba dynasty, all 3 dynasties are mentioned somewhere in the chapter of Upinder Singh, so I incorporated it here. Then you have this Pala dynasty, Gopala. Then Sena dynasty in the Bengal, Okay, so this is the idea. In Kashmir also you have Karkota, Utpala and Lohara dynasty, Queen Didda, most celebrated queen of the Kashmir. Okay, this is the important thing which I mentioned. Maybe you can get a question. The Rajatragini's description of the 12th century history of Kashmir mentioned 3 women rulers: Yashovati of the Gonada dynasty, Sugandha of the Utpala dynasty, and Didda of the Yashaskara dynasty. Okay, just if you can remember this thing, then fine. Otherwise, try to remember at least this much. Likewise, in the Greeks, the Greco-Bactrian dynasty, they were ruling around 250s, 100 BC. Okay, so this was the thing.